Good evening, everyone. This is Megan Doyle with Channel 8 News, coming to you in the midst of the Russian Civil War. We've been trying to get as much information as possible over the past few weeks, and we're finally ready to unleash it upon Russia. Here it is, our expose on war communism. Carson White has the story.
Good evening. A new economic scheme has swept the country, and everyone wants to know what it is. 2 words, war communism. A term coined by Lenin. It is now used to describe the economic system of Soviet Russia. War communism also refers to the drastic economic measures that the Russian regime has taken during the war. War communism has given Lenin and the communists direct control over all trade and industry in Russia, which basically means that they have total control over our economy. During the Civil War, Russia has suffered from soaring inflation, and our money has become almost worthless. Our peasants cannot pay for food or sell their goods, so the government has decided to take all the surplus of goods and redistribute it throughout the country. This has resulted in a terrible famine. Millions of workers and peasants have moved to the countryside in search for work and food. Moscow has lost over 50% of their inhabitants, and Petrograd has lost over 70%. Many Bolsheviks felt the burden of the famine during the Civil War. However, war communism has been justified during these drastic economic conditions, and in the end it has helped the Bolsheviks. Because of the people's strong opposition to war communism, the communists have decided that it will be replaced by a new economic policy after the war has ended.
Also, from a political standpoint, this war has sparked some interesting occurrences. Britain, France, the U.S., and Japan have all openly provided troops, supplies, and other support to the whites. There are several theories as to why they have chosen to involve themselves with this war. One is that the Allies were upset when Russia withdrew from World War I, and helping to restore stability to Russia now might benefit them in future negotiations with post-World War I Europe. Another theory is that the countries were worried about a possible alliance between Russia and Germany. This is due to the fact that one of the Bolsheviks' first moves when put in power was to make peace with the German Empire, which further upset the Allies. Good move, Bolsheviks. Also, Russia currently holds a heavy debt to the Allies for wartime expenses, and the Bolsheviks are threatening to erase this debt. This upset the Allies even more and prodded them into their attempt to bring the Bolsheviks down. Yet another theory is that the Allies fear the spread of socialist revolutionary ideals to the West, threatening their power and their governments. Winston Churchill was quoted just last week saying that Bolshevism must be strangled in its cradle. However, all the support that these countries have been throwing at the whites is seemingly ineffective. In fact, it seems as if the whites are actually losing the war. Let's go to Carson once again to explain why that is.
The Reds have been successful in the war because they have had a strong support from the entire Bolshevik party. While on the other hand, the whites have not been successful because they haven't been backed by a unified party, but instead all other opposers of the Bolsheviks. Reds have prevailed because of their strong party and their powerful leaders, unlike the whites.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm actually getting a breaking news report with Kenneth Lee. We go now to him live.
This is Kenneth Lee with breaking news. We just got word of a massive revolt coming from the Kronstadt Naval Base, way back there. Approximately 7,000 sailors have been rebelled against the dictatorship Communist Party. The situation, yep, it's definitely escalating. Just saw a guy get his head blown off. That's probably not too good. I'm sure it'll be fine. But, yeah, several hundred of rebels have already been killed. Bodies all over the place. Not looking good. Looks like Leon Trotsky's moving in his Red Army to suppress the uprising. Looks to be preparing the artillery. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not going to end well. Oh, did you guys see that explosion? That almost got me. It's getting intense. We're gonna have a bloodbath out there, guys. Updates will follow. This is Kenneth Lee, Channel 8 News.
How interesting. Hope everything's alright there, Kenneth. Well, that's all we have tonight for you folks. This is Megan Doyle
and Carson White
with Channel 8 News. Good night.